Joining us live now is Agricultural Minister Murray Watt. Murray, thanks for your time. We're seeing Jacinta Price there spruiking the No campaign. What's your feeling on the ground in Queensland?
Oh, look, I think that there's still a variety of opinion in Queensland. I'm a proud Queenslander myself, and we always like to have strong views one way or the other on an issue. But equally, there's a substantial amount of support for the voice in Queensland. And I think even the opinion polling reflects that. It's not over the line yet. There's a lot of people who are still undecided. But I'm confident that over the course of the next few months with some heavy campaigning, that the majority of Queenslanders will also see that this is actually an opportunity to bring the country together, to actually do something practical about some of the terrible outcomes that we see amongst our Indigenous community, whether it be healthcare, housing, a range of other issues. So I think that we can get Queensland over the line, but we know it's going to be difficult, just as it is around the rest of the country.
You mentioned the polling there. It is showing that support for the voice is plummeting. It must be a concern for the government.
Oh, look, we've always known that it was going to be a difficult job to win this referendum. History shows that winning a referendum in Australia is a very challenging task. And of course, we've had months of negativity from Peter Dutton and the LNP. We've had months of Peter Dutton and the LNP trying to seed doubt in people's minds. So I don't think that it's any surprise that the polling is reflecting that. But I think that people are starting to wake up to what Peter Dutton and the LNP are up to, which is that they say no to everything. I think once they consider all of the issues here, see that it's an opportunity to bring the country together, see that it's obviously about recognising our First Peoples in our Constitution for the very first time through a voice, which will help achieve some of the practical outcomes that people want to see. I'm confident that we can get there, but it's going to be a lot of hard work.
Just finally on the voice, Noel Pearson yesterday told Sky News that the words executive government will not be removed from the proposed changes to the country's constitution. If the polling continually indicates that the referendum is set to fail, will the government consider making changes to bolster support?
No, we are confident about the wording that's been put forward. Of course, this entire matter is currently subject to a parliamentary inquiry, and we'll listen respectfully to what they have to say. But there are good reasons to include the executive government in the wording, and that is that we want to make sure that the actions that government departments and government ministers take actually will deliver the sort of outcomes that people are looking for when it comes to the situation facing our Indigenous people. You get better outcomes on health, on housing, on employment and other things when you listen to people. And that's really what this is all about.
Okay, moving on. There's a push from Europe to stop Australian wineries using the term Prosecco. How damaging would that be to wine producers here?
Oh, look, we have fought very strongly. And when I say we, particularly Don Farrell, the Trade Minister, Assistant Minister Tim Ayres, myself and other ministers, to really push back on the argument from Europe around the use of terms like Prosecco and others. They're what are known as geographical indicators, or at least that's what the European Union says. And what we say to them is that Australian producers have used those terms for a very long time. In many cases, have cultural connections to the use of those terms as well, because of course, as a multicultural country, we've had people bring literally their Prosecco vines from their villages in Italy and other products as well. So we've been pushing back very strongly on this. I think it's important to remember that this is not by any means the only issue involved in the negotiations with the EU for a free trade agreement. Our number one objective as a government is to deliver the best possible new markets in the EU for products like beef, sheep meat, grains, sugar, all sorts of other things, and even our fantastic white mangoes too.
Okay, and finally, more than $100 million in funding has been announced to support the forest industry. What projects will this fund?
Yeah, I was in Launceston yesterday, Gabriella, with Brian Mitchell, one of our members in Tasmania, announcing that funding. Basically, what we've announced is grants to 34 different sawmills and timber processors around the country, which is really about helping them adopt new technology, new equipment, new methods to value add more in our forestry industry. The sawmill I was at yesterday, just outside Launceston, they're going to be investing $3 million of their own and $2 million of a government grant to buy new equipment, which will make their operations a lot more efficient. It'll help them produce much more high value products. And what that, of course, means is more jobs for people, particularly in regional areas. So it's a great announcement. It was one of our election commitments, and I'm really excited that we're starting to deliver it.
Murray Watt, thanks so much for your time. Appreciate it.